Hi everyone, welcome back to the Cantor Coach. I'm Emily Huber, and this week we are going to talk a little bit more about how to prepare for our upcoming fall music season and a few tips and tricks for you, whether you're a music director, a Cantor church choir member, or a lay singer. So let's get started. So last week we talked a bit about remembering the importance of our why and remembering knowing when to pray, and how to incorporate prayer into our music ministry. Again, whether you're a director or a cantor or a church choir member, these are all really important things. And so this week we're going to talk about what that looks like when we're collaborating with others. And so we talked a little bit about that last week, about maybe getting outside your comfort zone and going to another parish that you've never been to before to hear what other people are doing. But this week we're going to talk a little bit more about what that looks like. Tip number one for this week is to get to know other parish choirs in the community, and especially if you're a director, get to know the other music directors, because you all are trying to do the same thing. You all can learn from each other, and it's a great thing to be able to collaborate, share ideas, and so it's really good to connect with those other directors in your area. If you are a singer, it's great to connect with singers from other parishes. We can always learn from each other, and so make sure you're reaching out to people and learning things new. Ask them what they do at their parish. Maybe offer some things that you do at your parish. It shouldn't be a competition. It's all going towards the same goal, and so we want to collaborate together so that we can sing for God. A second tip to think about as we are thinking about collaborating with other individuals and other parishes specifically is to think about who your mentors are. Now, if you are a music director, you want to know other mentors, maybe a music director that's been doing this a little bit longer than you that could help with if you ever need questions, or if you ever or questions answered, or if you ever are in a bind and maybe need a sub or need some help with something. It's always good to have a mentor to guide you through any tough situations that you might be facing. Now, if you're a singer, it's always good to have a mentor, not only for how to sing with music ministry, and we hope that we can provide you that here, but if you have a local music teacher in your area, or if you're interested in voice lessons, that's a great way to have a mentorship as a singer to help aid you in your music ministry for Sunday. So tip number 2 is to get a mentor. And tip number 3, which is so hard for us to do, I struggle with this a lot, but it's setting boundaries. We want to make sure that we are setting healthy boundaries with our music ministry. Whether you're a music director, you want to make sure you're setting healthy boundaries with your choir, with your other musicians and other music directors, and you want to be able to say a healthy no. Now, this doesn't mean that we need to say no all the time, but it does mean that we need to make sure that we're taking care of our time, our rehearsal time specifically, and our practice time, especially if you're a singer. We'll get to use singers in just a moment. But with music directors, make sure you are delegating tasks. I know myself as a choir member and many choir members that love to help. And so if you are feeling overwhelmed, especially as we're getting to the holiday season, maybe delegate some things to some choir members, especially the ones that are super eager to help. Now, for you singers, make sure that you have healthy boundaries of saying no to. If you are doing so many masses on the weekend to where you're exhausted and you're losing that drive and that fun that you're having singing for choir on Sunday or cantering for Mass, maybe pull back 1 or 2 of those masses. Do it so that you are enjoying it and it doesn't feel like a chore, because eventually you might burn out if you do too many masses on a weekend. There's definitely been weekends where I've done a lot of singing, and it can be exhausting by the end. Very fulfilling, but exhausting. And if you do that consistently and too often, and you don't say no to some opportunities because you don't want to miss out or you don't want to not help when you're needed, you could not only be burning yourself out, but you might be preventing someone else from having an amazing opportunity to sing on Sunday as well. And so this is a great opportunity for you to take care of yourself, and in a non-selfish way, but take care of yourself so that you can give of yourself, but also providing other people with more opportunities. So make sure, whether you are a music director or a singer, tip number 3 is to set boundaries. And the fourth tip that we want to be thinking about as we are thinking about collaborating, whether it's with other parishes, other music directors, we can't forget about our own musicians and our own music director if you are the musician. So make sure that we are getting to know our musicians in our choir, our instrumental musicians that maybe come in and play, and make sure that we're getting to know our music directors and anyone else that's involved in the music ministry. This is so important because what we're doing is such a team effort that we want to have a team atmosphere. So this can look like allowing for some social time at the beginning and the end of rehearsal. Of course, we want to make sure we do get some rehearsing done, but we want to make sure that we're building a really strong community, because when we feel that, we keep coming back. So make sure we're doing that. And the other thing is to think about planning social events outside of just rehearsal. This is a great way to get to know those other people that you're collaborating with. And the perks with this is not only will you have an amazing community as a choir or a music ministry, but I know there's been times when I've gotten to a bind over the weekend. This doesn't happen often, but sometimes I'll need a sub if I'm going to be a cantor for a parish. And so having that community, having that built-in community allows for me to be able to call up another colleague in the music choir and ask, hey, can you fill in for me this weekend? And usually, because you have that friendship there, they're like, oh, if I'm available, sure, absolutely. And then you kind of trade the favors. So that's just one of the many examples, one of the many perks of having such a strong community in your parish, both if you are a music director or a singer. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Today was episode 2 of our tips for the fall. I will have another episode next week, so you won't want to miss that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave me a comment down below, and I will look forward to seeing you then. God bless you.